Jumping into this wedding at Bachelor in Paradise, was there a lot of people in that wedding that were not part of the cast and crew? Because it looked like just full-on cast and crew.
Yeah, there was. So Chris and Krystal, I think they only got to invite 30.
Oh, shit.
30 people.
That weren't Bachelor.
That just like whoever they wanted.
Oh, well, because the show paid for their whole entire wedding.
Right.
Were you two of them, you and Ashley?
I don't. That's actually a good question because I know that they wanted us to go. Chris and Krystal were invited to our wedding as well.
Yeah.
And we've become really good friends. They're awesome people. So that's actually a good question that I don't know the answer to, whether we counted as that 30. I don't think so. I think any former Bachelor cast member wasn't against their 30. It was like 30 of like, hey, people that you want to invite, friends, family, bring, and then like any Bachelor people that you want. That doesn't count.
And then
My mom would force us to have a second wedding that she helped pay for because there was no way that there was 30 people on 1/4 of my dad's family.
Right.
Chris and Krystal had an engagement party probably about 3 weeks before they went down to Paradise to get married. And it wasn't huge. There were probably 50 people there, but it felt like a wedding.
Yeah.
I remember when we got there, Ashley and I, because there was a lot of people from Bachelor, but it was all friends and family. And I remember thinking, is this a wedding? Are they going to get married here? She was
because
wearing
they knew that the gig was going to be differently once they.
I think they had an idea that they might not have as much control over their wedding as they'd like. So let's do a big engagement party to feel like a wedding.
Because it was part of the show. And so going off Roxy's question, big thanks for those people out there that went down. We've been talking about it, and I don't know, Adam, if you can find the clip in time, but John Paul Jones, right? So John Paul Jones, this guy, hands down, out of my time working there, no offense, my favorite person has ever walked through the doors. You're second. Is John Paul Jones.
Great.
My friends call me John Paul Jones, so you can call me John Paul Jones.
He is the best.
So the greatest intro. You want to know something funny about John Paul Jones?
Yeah.
We were down at the wedding, and I posted about him night one just because I loved his intro.
Yeah.
And when he got the final rose, everybody in our house, Lauren, Ashley, were clapping. So I just put it on Instagram and tagged him, and then he messaged like saying thanks and whatever. We're at the wedding, and so they start bringing cast in from Paradise, and John Paul Jones, one of the first ones to walk up, and he comes storming up to me, and he goes, dude, you are fucking awesome. And he's like, you're the only person that posted about me night one. You are Tom Cruise. And I was like, this is the best moment of my life.
I love John Paul Jones. Sorry, so what happened with him? Because I said it kind of seemed like I was a big wrestling fan back in the day, right? So when Hulk Hogan turned heel, it broke my heart. So it looked like he lost his fucking mind at that wedding. What happened? You were there. You saw all of this.
Yeah, it was really sudden. I was talking to Derek, and then John Paul Jones. It was just a group setting, and John Paul Jones came over and just said, Derek, can I talk to you for a second? Pulled him to the side. And it was just the weirdest thing. It played out very similar to the way it played out on TV, where it was just so sudden, and Derek didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah. It was embarrassing, and I kind of feel bad for. John Paul Jones needs to take responsibility for his actions, but I kind of feel bad. I don't know if he just got lost in the moment, or maybe
he's obsessed with Tayshia, and I understand why. She's an attractive woman, but he's also 24 years old.
We're all kind of obsessed with Tayshia.
Yeah,
that was creepy.
Yeah.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah, let's go. She's hot. Yeah.
Maybe next time, not so close to the mic.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
No, it's her
like Buffalo Bill.
personality too is dope.
Yeah.
So you guys all watch the show?
Yeah. Now it's the first season that I'm watching anyway.
Well, because
Jared,
here's what
I've
happened.
been forced to
all
watch
fucking hoes.
Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Well, I know you.
But I can't. No, I don't watch
in.
Bachelor and Bachelorette. I can't do it.
They stopped watching. I'm
Yeah.
the only one in my house that's still watching Bachelor and Bachelorette. Lumana likes them, but she like kind of tunes in and out. I'm the only one that's like keeping up with the storyline.
You and I had this conversation. You and I met while you were over at Screen Junkies doing the movie fights, but I knew you because my wife watches all of it. She watches Bachelor, and that season of Bachelor in Paradise that you were on was the one where you were on twice, right? And it was which one of it was. And I was like, okay, this show.
The second one you ended up with Ashley, right? On the
No,
show.
no.
Oh, that's not what happened.
No, it's a
long story. Yeah,
I
no,
have so
I
many
knew that.
years to catch up on.
No, absolutely not. Because when I met him, they were still friends.
We were just still
They were still friends.
Oh, the airport thing, right? Okay, I'm.
Yeah,
that was
a lot.
well after.
Yeah.
Ashley and I were good friends for about a year.
Sort of like Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. Is Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they fight a little bit, then they come
Okay, keep going. Sorry, keep
But
going.
anyway, so the point is that watching, I wasn't getting into. I watched that show and it's like a train wreck. And Bachelor and Bachelorette, I just can't do. If I'm working on the show and everything too, and like I'll tune in here and there when my wife's watching. But I try like the audience, though, like our audience. I'd say 70% just like fuck off, stop talking about it.
We have
With
30%
30% who weren't, more so than that, because 30% was like, I'll never watch the show. We got them hooked on it because of the train wreck that started with Blake. And like last night and the last 2 nights, to be honest, a little repetitive with the same shit of Angela and
Clay.
It's like,
Except for the Blake stuff, which is brand new.
Yeah, right. He just came out. Blake, now here's the thing with Blake. I don't know how close you are with this guy. I texted you the day after I saw that episode,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, they're giving him a bad rap." And then I started watching more. I'm like, "Nah, he's kind of deserving of it. He looks like kind of a douche on the loose." And then he just doesn't seem genuine. Like out of nowhere, he wants to stick around. He's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? Hey, Christina, give me your rose. What's real, fake? What's going on with this character?"
Chopstick, I eat lipstick. She's
Right.
the best.
Yeah, and then you got
Oh, you like Christina?
No, I don't.
yeah. Can you please tell Blake to stop doing this?
Oh, the dance. It's his
got-
one move that he
it's
just
his
does
Fortnite
over
move.
and over
It's
and over
horrendous.
again. Poor guy.
It's really bad.
It is bad. He needs to stop dancing.
It's so bad, and he keeps spinning people.
I know.
Stop spinning people.
You know what's really funny? I think Blake is just he is a good guy. Like if he was here, you'd like him. He's very
Yeah.
charismatic, very very nice. But I think he just lacks so much self-awareness because even I was looking at his Instagram last week. I forget why, but watching the show, and he still has a picture up from Stagecoach saying like how much he loved Stagecoach and it was the best weekend of his life.
Yeah.
And it's like after the
Yikes.
first week
Delete
of
it.
Paradise, just delete that post.
Yeah.
Like, why would you just not even think about like I can't even have that on my Instagram right now?
The missus and I can't stand Caitlyn. I think
I can't stand her either. She drives me nuts.
Nuts. Like she's kind of the loose. I think
No
she's
comment.
the
Look,
worst
he
part.
said no
is-
comment.
Is Kaylin the one with the van guy?
Yes, Dean.
That would
Dean.
be Dean.
Dean.
Yeah.
Dean's one of my really close friends. He was a groomsman in the wedding.
Okay.
Dean's mustache
Yo,
is the
he's
stuff of
stirring
legend.
things up.
But
He's
Dean,
the best,
Dean's
though.
a smooth motherfucker though.
And Dean, okay, so
He's
when
a smooth motherfucker.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know
But
it.
my favorite line though, hold that too. My favorite line yesterday is when the poor guy, the guy who looks like
Connor.
he looks like he's kind of he was DNA from Christian Bale, but he's just kind of like, what's going on? But that whole thing when Dean walks in and Christina's sitting there and he's like, oh, I'm not worried about it, and then Christina goes, do you know Dean? And he's like, and he goes, no. She's like, oh. And turns back
It was
around.
the best moment of the season for me because
Yeah.
it was so real. Where she's like, "Do you know Dean?" He's like, "No." And you're like, "Oh, you got something else
You're
coming,
screwed,
buddy."
buddy.
Yeah,
You're screwed.
Why? Because he's just so smooth with women.
If you met him in person, you'd fall in love with him. He is the most
he's
charismatic.
not my type. I could see why a woman would fall in love with him. Though. No, you
if I
guys
had a
remember?
nickel for every time I heard that.
Remember when I met the guy who lives in his car?
yes,
I
Eric Strickland.
can't get past that.
Well, he lives in a van by choice.
I know,
Right.
so
Down by the river?
So does this
Down
dude.
by the river. Bill
All right, so,
Shakespeare.
so that's
hard
actually,
time with
this is a good transition. So we were talking about something in the first half an hour that I want to get your honest opinion of because we were talking about this. So about 5 years ago, I called Alon, Bennett, all this, and I got Makuga into audition for Bachelor. And he got really far, and he was almost on. And
Really?
Yeah.
How long before Amanda was this?
Oh, like 5 years.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
this is a
so this
while.
is more than 5 years ago.
This is
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Between
okay.
6 or 7 years ago.
It was like 2011, 2012.
Something like that.
I was
So-
sort of dating her when I was
That's
happy
8
to
years
kick
ago,
her.
2011.
What's that?
I
She
said
was
that's
the
8
worst.
years ago, 2011 world.
Crazy.
Continue.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, he got and what I said was, and I know all the casting people, I said they fucking dropped the ball. Makuga would have crushed on that show.
Yeah, you would have been awesome.
So then
We're all in agreement there.
And it's changed significantly from you and what you and Ashley have done, and everybody does. Like when I first started there, you had a shelf life on Bachelor. You had a shelf life.
Oh, yeah.
Like you couldn't. After a little bit, you'd probably disappear. No one would. But now because of social media, you guys have made careers out of it.
Game changing.
It's game changing. So at one point in this conversation, Roxy goes, "Do you think I would be good in the show?" And then me and Makuga go, wait a minute, you'd be fucking brilliant on
Oh,
this
you'd
show.
be great.
So we are making a campaign here, and we need you to help. I'm
yeah.
going to make my phone calls to the people that I know. We've got to get her on this show.
But what do
because-
you think actually?
So my initial response would be, I think it could go either way because you're so strong in your opinions.
They can make her a
and
villain.
You could be villainized.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my only nerve.
But Krystal was villainized, and now look at her.
But that's the thing.
yeah.
It all
Who's
depends
Krystal?
on. But
the
sometimes,
girl who
like,
got married on the show.
here's the thing.
Oh, she was really pretty.
Yeah, a lot
She's-
of villains.
she's
Goose,
beautiful.
Goose was a villain, too.
Goose was a villain.
Yeah, he's the one she married.
Goose, Chris
Oh,
Rendon.
Oh yeah. They kept calling him Goose.
Was he he was a erectile dysfunction doctor, right? Is that Chris?
No, that's
Evan.
That's
Evan.
That's
Evan's
Evan.
the
But he got
I
married.
thought you were about
He got
to call
married
him out.
too.
He had erectile dysfunction,
Right.
right?
No, he was
Right,
just
right.
erectile.
See,
On his wedding night.
See, I think you had potential to be villainized on Bachelor, but you would be awesome on Paradise because Paradise is an opportunity where people can showcase more of their personality. And I think you have such a strong personality that I think some people would love or hate you on Bachelor, and then you'd be on Paradise, and you would be like one of the people that would commentate through all the drama.
Oh, yeah.
And people would love you.
We
Right.
said the same.
So, like, I
exact
don't
what
know.
you're saying is, yes, she'd be perfect for the show.
As long as you do Paradise.
But like, so I feel like people go on now to make this their life. Like your life is going
No.
on Bachelor,
But
and then
here-
Bachelor in Paradise.
Let
and
me
then
tell you why I
talking about
disagree with you,
Bachelor.
though. I'll tell you why I disagree with you as far as the villain on the other side of being on a producer side of it, right? Because if I have Roxy on the show and learn, because the whole point is to learn the personality. You had a producer that worked very heavily with you and that you were close with. That's what we did, and I would know when I come out of that conversation. Jared's a fucking good dude. He's just a normal guy. He's a good dude, and he's probably, she's probably gonna like him. So let's see if we can get him a few more conversations. You got more screen time because of it.
Yeah, when you say that, all I can do is think about all the times that I had moments with producers and them just being like, just go talk to her.
That's right.
Yeah,
they give you
it's
time
so-
because
yeah.
that's what happens. Because they say, do they think she's gonna like? Yeah, we think he will. If you're boring, then it's like, yeah, he's a nice guy, but he's not going to give us anything. Fuck him. Don't give him any time. Let him. If he has a good conversation with her, and she likes him, then that's his time. But that's it. That's why some people don't get time at all. Or if they do, 5 seconds, you're fucking out. Now with her, you'll know. You're right. She'll talk shit, but she's the most real person I've probably ever met in my life, and that will come out inside of that. Because that's what I would say. I would go, look, Roxy's not going to talk. Roxy's going to talk shit. But he's gonna like her because she's gonna be there and have some conversations with him, and she'll keep him on the toes. I don't know who the Bachelor
Doesn't
is.
it depend on who he is? Like
Yes.
if he's one, the thing that would suck is like if
Colton.
he's like from the South. Yeah.
Like
Oh my God,
Colton.
If
Colton.
it was
I would
Colton,
be like,
yeah.
I'd just be like,
Toast.
You'd be out,
I
like,
mean,
yeah, you'd wanna be
no.
out.
But like if he was
Virgin's tough.
cool dude who
That's what I mean.
didn't mind
That's
that
the
women
gamble.
like have opinions and stuff.
It does depend, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if the Bachelor was Ben Higgins, I think you'd make it far.
Yeah.
Which
But I
one's
think
that?
if Ben
It was like
is
4 seasons
Can you bring
ago?
up Ben Higgins?
great looking guy.
Yeah.
He was on my season of The Bachelorette and he was the Bachelor next. And
Yeah.
great, just an awesome human being. And I think he would keep you, like you and him would hit it off. There we go. Great guys. But like, yeah, someone like Colton, I don't know. That'd be interesting to
But
see.
do you?
But I
have-
don't know. You
You have to
no,
fake
okay.
it, like you. If,
No.
if
No, you
I
don't
went
have
on
to
with
fake it.
Colton and I was like, ugh.
No, then you
No.
should show. You
you're
should.
saying-
No, we're not hitting it off. That's why I could see you in the middle of the thing going, I want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
That's Ben Higgins.
Yeah, because that's
Oh,
the
I've seen that guy before.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So who was, by the way,
He's cute.
because now it makes more sense to me. Remember when I always give you the credit for when Chris Harrison gave you props for when you were doing the premiere,
hosting, yeah.
and they cut back. Who did they cut back to? Who are the two that I say should never be hosting ever?
I think it might
Oh,
have
it's
been Blake.
Blake
the
and Jason.
Which one's Jason?
Jason's the one dating Caitlyn now.
Okay.
In the
okay,
hot
okay.
tub.
Yeah,
Who's
but
Caitlyn?
Jason was okay.
Caitlyn was my
Yeah,
bachelorette.
Yeah, right. Jason was okay. It was Blake. Blake was the dud. Is that
Blake
who,
was the
who I
dud.
thought was
Yeah,
the dud? Okay,
Blake
makes
was
more
the
sense
dud.
now. Makes
Yeah.
more sense now.
Wait,
Yeah.
but I really think that Blake and Christina have a shot. That's her name, right?
I don't know. Christina just makes me so confused.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I Christina's a
trust
very
the
nice in person. I've
Russians.
met her
Yeah.
many times, and I really enjoy her company. But like the whole Paradise experience for her is very confusing by
Yeah.
me because she went into Paradise to just trap Blake. Like at the
And now
first
she
date.
falls in love with the guy.
And now
Right.
I don't know if you remember the first date where she like asked
Yeah.
him on the date, and it was just like to like,
Fuck
hey,
with him.
Yeah.
exactly, I'm going to expose you. And now she's giving him another shot. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I think
very
she's a little
confusing.
out of it.
Dean walking away from Kaylin after that like rose ceremony and being
On her
like,
birthday.
that was the best.
I got to ask you a question though, because you
best.
didn't.
Hold
yeah.
on. Okay, let me
best.
say. I'm gonna go why it was the best. Not because of what
Nice
he did.
guy, you heartless fuck.
I'm saying because of like I could see it. You could see it from the camera when she was like kissing
Yeah.
at him, and he was just like looking off the distance, like this ain't gonna work.
I feel like
That was the best part about it because she couldn't see it. She has no self-awareness of the actual situation. But also, Dean's kind of like drunk Josh McCouga in 2010. Like I would lie my way through.
You get that
anything
mustache, too.
Yes,
No,
I
he
would
doesn't
have that.
lie. That's what his downfall is. He's so truthful. And he's
He
like,
is?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel. And it's like, don't say that.
So
shit.
he like legit wanted to come back and date
Oh yeah.
her.
So I saw him. So we did the podcast together. Help
Okay.
I Suck at
Yeah,
Dating.
yeah.
And so I came back. It was and then he was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dean, you're back from Paradise. And then he's like, yeah, I got back last night, blah, blah, so I'm here. I'm going to record the podcast. And he's like, yeah, but I might go back in.
But he
And I was
legit.
like-
So he legit liked her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, you're
wait,
going to go back
how
in.
do you know they don't end up together?
I don't know. I didn't watch. I didn't watch
Wait,
it.
wait,
It's not over yet.
It's kinda like
I'm telling
ready-
you
I
this
know.
is before.
Yes, yes.
And so he was, he's like, yeah, I might go back in. I'm talking to producers right now. And I was like, what do you, and he's like, I miss Caitlyn. And he was like, we were dating for a while, it went well, but then I didn't know where it was going to go. So I told her, I'm not in a place for a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm living in a van. I don't know what exactly I want to do with my life. And then
It's like Eric Striffler.
yeah, and then he's like, I just really, really miss her. And he's like, I think I'm going to go back in and try to get her to leave with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you should. Why wouldn't you? And then, the next thing I know, it's
He went back.
went
But do
back.
you like Caitlyn?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hung out with Caitlin, spent some time with her. We went to Tahoe, like the iHeart people, and spent some time with her. And she's very, very sweet.
Okay.
And I got along with her really well. She's really easy to talk to.
I don't know why.
I agree.
She annoys me.
She's
for
a
some
pageant
reason.
girl, so she's going to be easy to talk to.
She was in pageants.
Yes, that's why
She
her and
knows you,
Hannah
she
didn't
knows
get
you
along.
too, right? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she
just
just
annoys
annoys
me.
me.
No, but she,
I like her.
I think they make her annoying on the show. But
maybe she said that she really didn't.
Like her edit.
And not only like her edit, but like how she projected herself on the show,
okay.
at least Bachelor.
It's hard when you go from like being head over heels with somebody, and then the next day being head over heels into somebody. Like that's not a cool look.
All right.
Oh,
It's
with
called
her and
Barney's
Connor and her.
being
right.
Dean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I know she's been
Dean put her in a
flip-flopping.
Dean
But
put her in a
honestly, if
position.
Dean walked down, he looked good yesterday. Come on now, he looked good when
Got
he walked
mustache.
down.
He's a
If he-
character, man. He's
If he
definitely
came
a character.
down walking towards me, I'd be like,
Yeah.
all right.
And he lives in
I get
LA?
it. Yeah, he lives in LA. So
got
he
that
was.
hair.
We gotta
born-
get Dean.
How
You and
do we
Dean got to
know-
come on the show.
Oh, he'd love to come on.
Does the public know who's currently dating, or when they're on the show, even though you recorded so long ago, the public?
Well, there was People Magazine's the one that reported that Caitlin and Dean were together after the show.
Oh, after the show.
But we can't really talk about it, so I don't
Right.
know exactly what I'm supposed to say. I just know that there are articles, including People Magazine, saying that they were together. They are together.
Well, so the other question I wanted to ask you is because this is just for filming purposes. How long do you really film down there? Because
Like 22 days.
22 days. It's not week to week
Shut
like they say.
the
Yeah,
front
that's
door.
what I'm saying. Like,
It's about 20. It's probably
Right.
about like 22 to 25
Remember?
days filming.
Yeah.
Like when you're actually down in Sayulita.
yeah, see, they make it the same thing they did for Bachelor. There's last week, when it wasn't last week, it was like a couple days ago.
Each
but they
week's
made
about
the
like
episode.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's insane.
That makes sense.
And you're supposed to fall in love with somebody?
Well,
People do it.
Yeah, I mean,
happens.
listen, I will say from going through this experience multiple times, it does speed up the process of
You're in a zoo.
you're in a bubble.
Yeah.
You are in a bubble, and there is nothing. There's no phones. There's no TV. There's no distractions. All you're doing this all day with the person that you are
Right.
that you have chemistry with.
And if you're not, you're sitting around with a bunch of dudes or a bunch of girls waiting for this fucker to take you out so you
Yeah.
can then have interaction with somebody of the opposite sex.
Oh yeah, well, Bachelor, Bachelorette, they're just built up so much.
Yes.
It's like, anytime Caitlyn walked through the door, everybody's like, oh my God,
Right.
it's her.
Right.
And,
Right.
and so it gets built up in your head. And so when you leave, I think you have this moment of clarity. Not to say that your feelings weren't real, but okay, settle down. This is not the way life works.
See, I just don't know if I
kinda
could do
decompress.
that.
See, that's what everybody says. That I've heard a billion times before.
Really?
It's when
You
you're
could
putting.
do it.
It's a social experiment when it happens. So what I
Exactly.
need, you got to help me because I'm going to make some calls and we got to try to get her for at least an
know.
audition.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm
Just the
totally
audition.
down.
You don't have to do the show. You go for the audition.
Okay.
But you're gonna love the audition.
Yeah.
Why?
It's fun.
Because it's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
You
Yeah.
sit down in front of a room full of people who are super charismatic. This is their job. This is how they know to talk to you. And the whole thing is about you.
I hate that.
No, you're going to like it.
Literally,
They're
it's-
going to make it fun.
I've made a career out of asking other people
But
questions.
you'll have conversations. You'll because once you like having conversations.
Yeah, I
and
like to have
that's more
conversations.
that's more what it's going to be about too. It'll be about you, but you won't realize it because it's like the conversation we have like during the one-on-one where we're just talking.
Totally.
It's like that type of thing.
For example, in my audition, they had me pretend to be Batman because they knew I was one of the reasons apparently I got on the show is because I'm kind of
You're
a
Batman.
geek. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I love DC, Marvel,
Yeah, yeah.
all that stuff, blah blah blah. And actually, it was Alon who was talking to me, and Alon is very caught up on his pop culture
Yeah.
within this geek realm.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Yeah, just go." He's like, "Go walk over there and go walk up to that producer and." Pretend you're Batman and pretend it's night one on Bachelorette and then pretend that producer's the Bachelorette and walk up as however you think Batman would walk up and then say whatever you think Batman would say to the Bachelorette. In my first audition, and it was like, okay, I guess I'll just go to the corner. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, that's great.
And so, yeah, of course, I got to walk up as if I'm
and
Batman.
But he
you
did-
did that because you were like, I want to fall in love?
No, because it was fun. It's a social experiment. The idea, I always said, the people that go on this show who say, I'm only here to find love, is a psycho.
Yeah.
It's
Like
a
Luke
TV
P.
show. You have to go in for the experience and just be like, whatever happens,
And if it
happens.
happens, it happens.
Like
Right.
Luke P.
How
he was a
long-
psychopath.
Oh,
How
Luke
long
Pierce
do you
Williams.
actually have to take off of work?
I say psycho jokingly because I don't like calling Luke
Dude,
a psychopath.
he didn't blink once that entire show. He didn't blink.
I could
I
see
didn't
him.
notice
I
that.
could see him chew a leg off an animal on the
Yes,
road. I
uh-huh.
could see that. That guy was he looked.
I mean, who wouldn't do that? You know, if
sure.
you're hungry.
They betrayed him. They
Depends on
betrayed
the
him
animal.
as a cuckoo pants.
And
Oh
he's
yeah,
cuckoo.
I'm really glad he didn't do Paradise though, because I think that he
The
just
worst.
yeah.
They
but
definitely
he's
offered
also
it to
like
him.
super religious.
I
So
don't
the
know.
You
Paradise
don't think
thing
they
doesn't
offered
work.
it to him?
I don't know.
Really?
Well,
I
because
don't
they
think
had
he
such a
would've
bad
turned
thing
it
with
down.
Chad, right? Like because of the Chad situation. Because Luke
You
P
know
was
Chad.
it was a total maniac on
Yeah.
the show. and they're like trying to get rid of him. I mean, listen, you know more than me, but like,
Well, I don't know Luke. I've never met him.
but he's. Like his scene on the show trying to get rid of Luke P, Hannah Brown trying to get rid of Luke P was awkward and some of the best moments in the history of the show, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it was really bad.
100%.
Especially even like the whole Luke versus Luke drama. If you remember, he told the other Luke that he was going to go apologize and tell the truth, and
he
then
lied.
he
I know.
led to
Yeah,
Hannah and was like,
because
"Nah, I doubled down on it."
Yes.
Wait,
I
It's
have
crazy.
I have a question for you about a season that I watched.
No, please
This
go.
one for Demi. How do you feel about the fact that she was allowed to stay on the show with somebody who was not a part of the show?
Well, I think first of all, Demi and Christian, they're very real. They're very much in love. You can see that. It's evident. I think a lot of people have issues with how it was contrived. Like they found Christian a day after she talked about her. Like Harrison, was able to find this woman and bring her into paradise.
You don't think that's what happened?
No.
I mean, do you think it's what
I
happened?
have no idea. This is my first time
they
with
had
this
it,
experiment.
They had it lined
You've
up
been
since day
watching
one.
Big Brother for like 140
But
they don't-
years.
that's the kind of
they
shitty
don't
shit,
do
and
this.
that's what I said beforehand too. Is
Competition show.
that we, like you said, no,
it is.
it's a television show, right? But and they're putting together moments, but it's.
Wait, what are you saying happened?
What I'm telling you is what I think, what I believe happened is that they probably said, okay, look, Demi, we know she's in love with this girl. Let's have her on the back burner. If she falls in love with someone else while it's going on, great. We'll see what happens, and then we got a little bit more of drama to go there because we'll bring her on the show. But what happened was that Demi really started to say, "Fuck, I miss this girl," and then she had the conversation like, "All right, well, bring her in now." And they just knew they would bring her in. It was the ace in the hole, and they knew also we're in a time that it's a very politically correct thing. It's a very thing, and it's also a thing that they wanted to make sure that they are, showing that they're, look, we are accepting. This is what they wanted to make a statement. They made two statements. They made that statement, and they made the statement of the second that what's his face
on the fight.
Yeah, who?
Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan.
Jordan
and,
threw Christian off the
Christian.
thing. This isn't Rock of Love. This isn't Bachelor Pad.
yeah, you
this
can't
is
keep those guys
you
around.
can't. You're out. And Jordan knew it too. He's second. I love that motherfucker. Is he cool at least because he fucking cracks me up.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's very sweet, very endearing.
Yeah.
He's great. Jordan's great.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers' brother Jordan?
No.
What do you think about the Clay situation and Angela?
No, I think Clay just needs to.
Man
God,
up.
It's
Clay is
so
very
boring.
sweet. He's a very nice man.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Did he
but
play for
my
the Pats?
God,
Where did he-
Nah, he played for the Lions. He played for.
Just make it happen.
Oh, just like
Just
please.
so-
Do you think he's
Pull
in
the
love
trigger.
with Angela?
Yes,
Yes. I
he's the
think
one
so,
who
too.
like
Clearly.
last night he went up to Angela and said, "Hey, can we talk?" Pulled her aside and was like, "Hey, you're not over me." And it was just so
And
awkward.
she was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he was, that was rude.
It's always the people that say they don't care
Yeah.
who actually care.
This is
more
another
than
reason
anything.
why I want her involved in
Yes.
this community because
Yes.
I want to see her on the beach having these conversations.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to
it'd be
see
great.
her. She'd be the fucking mayor of. She would be.
Yep.
You
Oh,
would
yeah.
be the mayor.